Welcome back, everybody. I'm ESL teacher Lisa. So happy to have you. Today we are going to talk about a common problem with the pronunciation of words that end with ED. I'm going to talk about the three sounds that the ED makes in English. I will give you the regular grammar rule and how you can practice. It's a mistake that I hear quite often. Remember, words that end in ED are important because you might recognize it because we use it for the past tense. So, for example, if I put up walked, you realize we're in the past tense because of the ED. But we also use ED with adjectives when we describe how we feel or when we're describing a person. So, for example, if I said to you, I went to the movies last night and I was bored. What is the verb in this sentence? Was. That's how we know we're in the past tense. But bored is an adjective describing how I feel, and that ED doesn't mean past tense. You see, the ED, bored, does not mean, oh, we're in the past tense. We're in the past tense because of the main verb was. So ED can be found at the end of words to describe adjectives when we're describing people. So I'm going to share with you a PDF that I created with the grammar rules for the three sounds that ED make in English. We're going to show you those three sounds and how to practice, and also we'll go over the grammar rule. Let's share screen, and you could also download this PDF for free after class, or you can follow along. So let's go. Just one more quick thing. Which category do you fall into with this ED rule? Number one, are you a student that forgot this rule, but you learned it, you just forgot? Number two, you're clueless, you have no idea, you're saying you never learned this. Or three, do you remember learning this ED rule, but you're just not applying it? So just think about what kind of student you are. I'd like to know in the comments if this is a completely new rule for you. Okay, let's go to the share screen. Okay, here we are on this PDF, and again, you can download it for free and follow along. Pronunciation of the ED. So the three sounds that the ED makes in English, when it's at the end of a word, we're talking about the ending of a word, it makes an id sound, a T sound, or a D sound. Those are the three sounds that the ED can make. For example, let's do the first one here in yellow, the id sound. I'm going to say the examples. Wanted, needed. Do you hear the id? Wanted, needed. What's the grammar rule? We look at the letter right before the ED. If it's a T or a D, here's the rule. You have to give it an id sound if it ends in T or a D. Wanted, needed. The next sound is the T sound. So I'm going to say our examples and listen for that T sound at the end of the word. Helped, looked, sniffed, laughed, washed, watched, kissed, danced, fixed. T sound. It is not correct to say helped, I helped my mother. Looked, sniff it. It's not correct. It's helped, looked, sniffed. T sound. What is the rule? Looking at the last letter right before the ED, if it ends in a P, K, F, G, H, S, H, C, H, S, S, C, or X, we give it a T sound. A T sound. Now, next one, D. The D sound, that's the third sound the ED can make. So I'm going to read our examples. Called, cleaned, offered, damaged, loved, used, amazed, rubbed, claimed. When do we use the D sound? We look at that last letter right before the ED. If it's an L, N, R, G, V, Z, B, or M, or a vowel, we give it a D sound. The problem with the pronunciation of ED is that most students want to give everything the id sound. They give everything the id sound. So that's why I hear this mistake. People will say helped, looked, I called my mother, I cleaned my house, and it's not correct. Only three sounds. Id, T, and D, but you have a regular grammar rule to tell you which one you should use. So you might be thinking, oh my goodness, Teacher Lisa, how in the world am I supposed to figure out and know whether it's a T sound, the it sound, the D sound? Should I memorize all these letters and look at the last letter before the ED? Well, I'm happy to tell you no, that is not the way to learn the pronunciation of ED. The best way, I think, is to memorize the first one, id, because the only sounds that we give the it sound to, the only words I should say that we give the it sound to are the ones that end in T or D. So that's pretty easy to remember. If the word or the letter right before the ED ends in a T or D, then you have to give it an id. Everything else gets a T or D sound. So you say, okay, I can handle that. The T or D before the ED gets an id sound. I can handle that. I can memorize that. But then the T versus the D. Oh, how do I know now? You ask me again, should I just memorize these letters? No. The best way is use your ear. If you're watching this video, you're likely at an intermediate level. So you already should start to know what feels right in the mouth. And you also might just recognize words and know how it's pronounced. So after a while, after hearing, I would listen a lot. You should listen to reading like an audiobook. Listen to a native read, and you can hear how sounds are pronounced. So you will hear helped as helped, not helped. A native will never say helped. Helped. You always hear it said that way. But there's a reason why we give the T sound to a word that has a P, because it's easy to go from this P sound to a T sound. It's easy to blend from a T sound to all of these words, all of these letters. So the sound that these letters make, it's easy to blend or go into a T sound. The same thing with the D. It's easy to go from these sounds here into a D sound. It's more difficult to blend it to a T sound. Well, what do I mean? Let me just erase this so we can see clearly, okay? So let's just take the first one here. Okay, let's just take the first one. Use a different color here. Helped and called. I said it's a T sound. Helped, helped. And I said this is a D sound. Called, called. Let's say you're deciding, what is the sound? Should I give it a T or a D? It's actually pretty easy to go from that P sound to the T. Try it. Helped, helped, helped. Try to go to a D sound, which we know is not correct, but try to go to a D sound. From a P to a D sound. Helped, helped, helped. It's just really uncomfortable and awkward, and you can't blend those two sounds easily. So that's why I say use your ear to know whether it's a T or a D. It will start to come more natural. Let's take another one. Let's take this one. Kissed, kissed. I kissed my mother. Kissed. Okay. I kissed my mother. I got an A on my report card. Oh, I was so happy. Yeah, I kissed my mother. Try to go to a D sound. So we're supposed to go to a T. Kissed. Try to go to a D sound. Kissed, 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 kissed. That's what it would sound like. Kissed. No, kissed. Isn't that easier? So try to use your ear to know what sounds right. This is the best way. I'm going to show you a good way to practice. First, let's just make a note here. We have to remember we have voiced sounds in English and voiceless sounds. And that was noted here. I'm just going to erase this so we can see clearly. What do I mean by voiced and voiceless? So voiceless sounds like the T sound, the T sound is voiceless. It means we don't use our vocal cords. Our vocal cords are not involved. We do need the vocal cords to produce vibration, to produce sound. With the D, it's voiced, meaning we use our vocal cords to produce that sound. So I think it's kind of a neat little thing to try, is take your hand and put it around your throat. So take your hand and put it around your throat. And let's go ahead and say the word danced. There's a T sound, right? Danced, danced. That T, you don't feel your throat vibrate at the end. But when I use this one, amazed, amazed, you feel the vibration of the vocal cords at the end, making that D sound. Amazed, right? You hear that vocal vibration. So that's what we mean by voiceless, not using the cords. We're just pushing air out to produce the sound. Voiced, we are incorporating the vocal cords. Okay, so let's go down a little bit further. And I want to show you, so that's that note here, voiced. Please keep in mind here, I didn't emphasize it here, but vowels do get the D sound. So this is what we're noting here. Vowels get the D sound. So here, followed, enjoyed, played, tried, continued, they get the D sound. You might be asking here about followed, this W here. All right, W is not on our list of letters because it doesn't produce a sound. So here, followed, right? What is the last sound? Is the vowel sound O, so we do give it a D sound. So that's why it's followed, D, followed. Okay, so all vowels, we give it the D. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so how do you practice this? This is one of the best ways to practice. And it's not memorizing. Let's go to the third page. Let me show you the third page. Let me just erase our markings. And this is the second page of this handout. Let me just erase my markings so that we can see clearly. So again, you can download this if you like. So you have that chart on the first page, but also what I did is put it in a little bit different format. So if you prefer this kind of format, it's exactly the same thing. The it sound, the T sound, and the D sound with the examples and the rules. So it's just a little bit different format on the second page. So let's go to the third page. On the third page, I just give you a little short paragraph to show you, I want to demonstrate to you what you should be doing to practice this. You can take any article, any newspaper, any article, whatever, it doesn't matter, and circle or highlight all the words with ED. And then what you can do is go back to your chart and check the rule to see if you said it correctly. If you know how to say it, because you just learned it and you know it's correct, then say it, pronounce it ED. But if you're not sure, and it's just for practice, check that last letter and check the chart and see if you are pronouncing it correctly, because you can check yourself now. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our little practice here. Just demonstrate how you can use this. Yesterday, John T. What did he say about letters that have a T, words that have a T before the ED? It gets an id sound. So yesterday, John visited the shopping mall, and, okay, we have a vowel. We give that a D sound. So it's enjoyed the vibrant atmosphere. He, we have a K. Go back to our chart and check the rule. With a K, we give it a T sound. He walked through various stores. So keep doing that. Just check that last letter, check the chart, and see, is it supposed to be a T sound or a D sound? And remember, the only thing we give an it sound is words that end with a T right before the ED, or that end with a D before the ED. So this one would be decided. This would be chatted, right? Spotted. Okay, so that's how you practice. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope now you will make less and less mistakes with the ED, because remember, the problem is students want to give the id sound to everything. Everything they think should have the id sound. Not true. So please go ahead and practice, and I will see you in the next video.